First Aiders are proud to supply event first aid cover in Derbyshire, as well as covering Chesterfield, Long Eaton, Swadlincote, Ilkeston, Glossop, Staveley, Heanor, Alfreton, Belper, Buxton, Claycross, North Wingfield, Dronfield, South Normanton-Pinxton, Bolsover, Matlock, Shirebrook, Killamarsh, New Mills, Clowne, Chapel-en-Le-Frith, Wingerworth, West Hallam, Borrowash, Ashbourne, Whaley Bridge, Creswell, Duffield, Kilburn, Melbourne, Wirksworth, Whitwell, Bakewell, Tipshelf, Shirland and Pilsley. We also provide event first aid for all other towns and cities in and around Derbyshire. First Aiders, as event first aid service providers, will never try to upsell the event first aid service that you require based on your event risk assessment. This means that if you only genuinely require one solo first aider for your event, that is all we will supply. Clearly, we will not put our first aid team at risk, nor will we be knowingly complicit in understaffing. It isn't unusual for event organizers to be uncertain as to how many first aiders they will require for their event, so we will be open and honest when asked for advice. Cheap event first aid cover certainly does not mean low-quality event first aid cover. First Aiders provide low-cost event first aid cover in Derbyshire, but we will not put corners to provide cheap event first aid. If your Derbyshire event first aid calls for an event first ambulance, we can provide a crude NHS-style ambulance to act as a highly visual event first aid post. Not intended as an emergency ambulance to transport patients to hospital under emergency conditions, but purely as your event first aid post, used by event medics as a rest and welfare station. An event first aid ambulance lends itself perfectly to event spaces where there is no structure to act as a first aid post, such as open public spaces and fields that are suitable for access by heavy vehicles. We have discreet but marked response cars with solo first aiders, as well as small ambulance support vans in ambulance livery. Please visit www.eventfirstaiders.com and use our contact page to email us for a low-cost quote.